The British royal family throughout history have always had a long tradition of association with armed forces and played vital roles during war and time of peace. Armies have defended and attacked territories on behalf of their rulers and looked to them for guidance and inspiration in time of war and peace since ancient times. The first British sovereigns were the military commanders, rulers and administrators with the best fighting force behind them. Their role was hands-on. They were fighters as well as military strategists, and many were present on the battlefield. Over time, with the death of some on the battlefield, they have taken safer distance from the day-to-day affair of warfare to experienced commanders and involving themselves in other thoughtful matters rather than risk death in the battlefield. This has not in any way prevented them from being exceptional leaders. They have stood far away from battlefields, cheering and motivating those who fought for them. It is not mandatory for royals to serve in the British military, but they are encouraged to serve in the armed forces and to develop special relationships to better understand its ongoing work and culture, especially heirs who would become commanders-in-chief of the armed forces. Warmest welcome to People Places Things. This video is about Queen Elizabeth's family service in the British military. Queen Elizabeth's father, King George VI, as a 20-year-old sub-lieutenant in the Royal Navy, fought in the battle at Jutland in 1916. He was the last British sovereign to have seen action in battle. His daughter, Princess Elizabeth, served in the British military during World War II as a member of the Auxiliary Territorial Service, ATS. At the age of 19, Princess Elizabeth joined the ATS in 1945. She trained as a mechanic, learning how to drive and fix military vehicles. Her training included courses in mechanics theory, map reading, and driving instruction. 5 months into her service, she was promoted to junior commander, which was the equivalent of captain. She was treated the same way as the rest of her company during training, and photographers captured her working on vehicle engines and changing tires. Her parents, the King and the Queen, and her sister Princess Margaret, visited her at the Mechanical Transport Training Section in Camberley. During her reign, Queen Elizabeth II supported the armed forces and their families in many ways, including patronage of military charities, regular visits to service establishments and ships, introducing the Elizabeth Cross Medal to honor the families of those who lost their lives in military operations or due to terrorism. The Queen's husband, Prince Philip, also served as a military officer. He joined the Royal Navy when he was 18 years old. In July 1939, Prince Philip began corresponding with the 13-year-old Princess Elizabeth when they met during her training. During the Second World War, he served with distinction in the British Mediterranean and Pacific fleets. In November 1947, he married Princess Elizabeth. Prince Philip left active military service when Princess Elizabeth ascended the throne in 1952, having reached the rank of commander. He had 4 children with Elizabeth: Charles, Anne, Andrew, and Edward. Prince Edward, Duke of Edinburgh, after graduating in 1986, joined the Royal Marines, who were reportedly sponsors of his tuition at Cambridge on condition of future service. He had signed up to join the Royal Marines in September 1983. In January 1987, he dropped out of the Commando course, having completed 1/3 of the 12-month training. Media reported that Prince Philip, who was the Captain General Royal Marines, was displeased. Prince Edward later said that his father had not put undue pressure on him to change his mind. Others stated that Prince Philip was the most sympathetic family member towards his son's decision. Buckingham Palace said that Edward's decision came after much consideration and that he was leaving with great regret, but has concluded that he does not wish to make the service his long-term career. Although he never actively served in the military, Prince Edward has many notable military honors and titles. As a working member of the royal family, Prince Edward wears a military uniform at ceremonial events. For example, he wore 5 medals and the star for his Knight's Grand Cross of the Royal Victorian Order honor at his father Prince Philip's funeral. Prince Andrew, Duke of York, served in the Royal Navy for 22 years, including the Falkland War. He joined the Royal Navy in 1979 and completed flight training over the next 2 years, serving as a helicopter pilot and instructor, and as the captain of a warship. He flew on multiple missions, including anti-surface warfare, casualty evacuation, and Exocet missile decoy. He became a commander in 1999 and an honorary captain in 2001. In January 2002, the Queen removed Prince Andrew's honorary military affiliations and royal charitable patronage. This was following criticism for his association with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Princess Anne has not served directly in the British military, but she does hold many honorary military titles and has participated in various military-related events. Princess Anne holds many honorary titles including Admiral in the British Army, Air Chief Marshal in the Royal Air Force, and Commodore-in-Chief of the Royal Canadian Navy. She is also the first Commandant-in-Chief of the First Aid Nursing Human. Prince Charles, now King Charles III, served in the Royal Navy and Royal Air Force, following in the footsteps of his father, grandfather, and both great-grandfathers. He trained as a jet pilot at the Royal Air Force, qualifying as a helicopter pilot, and joined the 845 Naval Air Squadron. He served on the guided missile destroyer HMS Norfolk and the frigates HMS Minerva and HMS Jupiter. As Prince, he held many ranks in the British Armed Forces, including Honorary Air Commodore of the Royal Air Force, Valley, Colonel-in-Chief of the Royal Australian Armoured Corps, and Air Commodore-in-Chief of the Royal New Zealand Air Force. In 2012, Queen Elizabeth II awarded Prince Charles the highest rank in all three services, making him Field Marshal, Admiral of the Fleet, and Marshal of the Royal Air Force. He is now the Commander-in-Chief of the UK Armed Forces. Prince William, the future king, and Prince Harry both served in the military, following the royal commitment to military like members of the extended family, with William as a search and rescue pilot and Harry as an Apache helicopter pilot. Prince William trained as a pilot at the Royal Air Force Cranwell and flew solo for the first time there. He then served as a search and rescue pilot for 3 years, including a deployment to the Falkland Islands. After leaving operational duties, he retrained as an air ambulance pilot and worked in the East Anglian Air Ambulance. In May 2024, King Charles III appointed Prince William as Colonel-in-Chief of the Army Air Corps, while Prince Harry served in the British Armed Forces for 10 years, including 2 tours of duties in Afghanistan as an Apache helicopter pilot and forward air controller. In 2012, he was named the best front seat pilot from his class. Harry is also the founder of the Invictus Games, a Paralympic-style competition for wounded service members.